1. Alright, let's dive a little deeper into this 1979 Chevrolet El Camino. The El Camino has always been a unique vehicle, blending the functionality of a truck with the style and comfort of a car. And this particular model is no exception. The 350 CID V8 engine is a true workhorse, providing plenty of power for hauling or just cruising down the highway. And with a 4-barrel carburetor, you know you're getting optimal fuel delivery for maximum performance. The 3-speed automatic transmission is a great match for this engine, providing smooth shifts and easy driving. One thing that really stands out about this El Camino is the interior. The seller mentions that it's been completely redone, and that's evident from the photos. The seats look comfortable and inviting, and the dashboard is clean and well organized. You can tell that someone has put a lot of love and care into this car. The power front disc brakes and power steering are great features to have, especially in a classic car like this. They provide modern convenience and safety without detracting from the vintage feel of the vehicle. And the dual side mirrors are a nice touch, giving you better visibility and making the car feel more substantial on the road. The white paint job is a classic choice for a car like this, and it looks to be in great condition. The factory wheels are a nice touch, adding to the overall vintage aesthetic of the car. And with a clean title, you can feel confident that you're getting a vehicle with a clear history. Now, I know what you might be thinking. 180,000 miles is a lot for a classic car. But hear me out. These old Chevys were built to last, and with proper maintenance and care, they can easily go well beyond 200,000 miles. Plus, the seller mentions that the car has been well maintained, so you know it's been looked after over the years. In terms of price, $7,500 is a pretty fair asking price for a car like this. Sure, you might be able to find a cheaper El Camino out there, but will it be in this good of condition? Will it have the same features and upgrades? Probably not. So if you're looking for a classic car that's got style, power, and comfort, this El Camino is definitely worth considering. It's a piece of American automotive history that you can own and enjoy for years to come. And who knows, maybe you'll even start a new trend in your neighborhood by driving this unique and eye-catching vehicle around town. 2. We've got a real treat for you, a 1968 Cadillac El Dorado that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This iconic ride is a true representation of American luxury and style from the golden age of automobiles. Let's start with the price. At $11,000, this El Dorado is a fantastic deal for a car of this caliber. The seller mentions that the car is in good condition, and based on the description, it seems like they've put a lot of work into maintaining and upgrading this beauty. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. And with a front-wheel drive setup, this El Dorado is sure to provide a smooth and comfortable ride. The odometer shows just 80,000 miles, which is relatively low for a car this age. That means you've got plenty of miles left to enjoy this classic ride. Now, let's talk about the upgrades. The seller mentions that the car has a new interior, which is a huge plus. There's nothing quite like sliding into a fresh, comfortable interior that looks and feels like it did when the car was brand new. The near-new tires are another great feature, ensuring that you'll have plenty of grip on the road. But the upgrades don't stop there. The seller has also replaced the water pump, starter, brake booster, fuel pump, and radiator. These are all crucial components that keep your car running smoothly and reliably. And with a rebuilt carburetor, you can expect optimal performance from that big 8-cylinder engine. The red paint job is a classic choice for a car like this, and it's sure to turn heads wherever you go. The El Dorado has always been a car that commands attention, and this one is no exception. The clean title is another big plus, giving you peace of mind knowing that the car has a clear history. Now, the seller does mention that they don't need help selling the car, so it seems like they're pretty confident in the value and appeal of this El Dorado. And honestly, who can blame them? This is a car that's sure to attract plenty of attention from classic car enthusiasts and collectors alike. So if you're in the market for a classic American luxury car that's got style, power, and plenty of upgrades, this Cadillac is definitely worth checking out. It's a car that's sure to provide plenty of enjoyment and satisfaction for years to come. And at just $11,000, it's a deal that's hard to beat. So why wait? Head on over to Craigslist and make this classic Cadillac yours today. 3. Now we've got something really special for you. A 1983 Cadillac Beitz that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This is a rare opportunity to own a piece of American luxury car history, and I'm excited to tell you all about it. First off, let's talk about the condition of this Biarritz. The seller describes it as super clean. And with just 43,060 miles on the odometer, it's clear that this car has been well cared for over the years. In fact, the seller mentions that it's been stored for the last 25 years, which is a testament to how much the previous owner valued this car. Now, let's talk about the price. At $9,000 or best offer, this Biarritz is a fantastic deal for a car of this caliber. You're getting a true classic Cadillac that's in excellent condition, with low mileage and a clean title. It's a car that's sure to turn heads wherever you go, and it's a great investment for any classic car collector. One of the things that really stands out about this Biarritz is that it's all original. That means that everything from the engine to the interior is just as it was when the car rolled off the assembly line back in 1983. For classic car enthusiasts, that's a huge selling point. It's rare to find a car that's been so well preserved over the years, and it's a testament to the quality and durability of these old Cadillacs. Under the hood, you'll find a gas-powered engine that's ready to roar to life. And with an automatic transmission, this Biarritz is easy to drive and perfect for cruising around town or hitting the open road. The low mileage means that the engine and transmission have plenty of life left in them, so you can enjoy this car for years to come. The interior of this Biarritz is just as impressive as the exterior. The seller doesn't provide any photos, but given the overall condition of the car, it's safe to assume that the interior is in great shape as well. You can expect plush, comfortable seats, a spacious cabin, and all the luxurious features that Cadillac was known for back in the day. Now, the seller does mention that they're only interested in serious buyers, which is understandable given the value and rarity of this car. If you're in the market for a classic Cadillac that's in excellent condition, this Biarritz is definitely worth considering. It's a car that's sure to provide plenty of enjoyment and satisfaction for years to come, and it's a great investment for any classic car enthusiast. So if you're ready to own a piece of American luxury car history, head on over to Craigslist and check out this Biarritz. With its low mileage, clean title, and all original condition, it's a car that's sure to impress. And at just $9,000 or best offer, it's a deal that's hard to beat. Don't miss out on this rare opportunity to own a true classic Cadillac. 4. We've got a real treat for you. A stunning 1974 Chevrolet Corvette that's currently up for grabs on Craigslist. This classic American sports car is sure to turn heads and get your heart racing. First off, let's talk about the price. At $13,800, this Corvette is a fantastic deal for a car of this caliber. You're getting a piece of automotive history that's sure to appreciate in value over time, and it's a car that's guaranteed to put a smile on your face every time you get behind the wheel. Now let's dive into the details. This Corvette is powered by a beefy 350 cubic inch V8 engine that's mated to an automatic transmission. That means you've got plenty of power on tap, and with rear-wheel drive, you'll feel connected to the road like never before. The seller mentions that the car is in good condition, which is always a plus when you're dealing with a classic like this. One thing to note is that the odometer is broken, so the actual mileage is unknown. However, given the overall condition of the car, it's safe to assume that it's been well cared for over the years. The seller does mention that the car has 83,000 miles on it. But without a working odometer, it's impossible to verify that number. The exterior of this Corvette is finished in a stunning orange color that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. The T-top roof is a great feature, allowing you to enjoy the sunshine and fresh air while you're cruising down the road. The tan interior is a nice contrast to the bold exterior color, and it looks to be in great shape based on the photos. Other features of this Corvette include power steering and disc brakes, which make it easy to handle and stop on a dime. The clean title is another big plus, giving you peace of mind knowing that the car has a clear history. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American sports car that's got style, power, and plenty of character, this Corvette is definitely worth checking out. It's a car that's sure to provide plenty of enjoyment and satisfaction for years to come, and it's a great investment for any classic car enthusiast. So if you're ready to experience the thrill of driving a true American icon, head on over to Craigslist and check out this stunning 1974 Corvette. With its powerful V8 engine, beautiful orange exterior and comfortable tan interior, it's a car that's sure to impress. And at just $13,800, it's a deal that's hard to beat. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. 5. We've got a real gem for you, a 1970 Chevrolet C10 that's currently for sale on Craigslist. This classic pickup is a true representation of American craftsmanship and style from the golden age of trucks. Let's start with the price. At just $6,500, this C10 is an absolute steal. You're getting a piece of automotive history that's sure to turn heads and get people talking wherever you go. The seller mentions that the truck is in good condition, which is always a plus when you're dealing with a vehicle that's over 50 years old. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 350 cubic inch V8 engine that's ready to roar to life. This engine is paired with a 2-barrel Holley carburetor, which is known for its reliability and performance. With rear-wheel drive and a 4-speed manual transmission, this C10 is a blast to drive. You'll feel connected to the road like never before, and you'll have complete control over the truck's power and speed. Now let's talk about the odometer. The seller mentions that it is rolled over, which means that the actual mileage is unknown. However, given the overall condition of the truck, it's safe to assume that it's been well maintained over the years. The seller does mention that the odometer currently shows 36,000 miles, but it's important to keep in mind that this number may not be accurate. The exterior of this C10 is a true classic, with its long bed and straight lines. The seller doesn't mention the color of the truck, but based on the photos, it appears to be a beautiful shade of blue. The clean title is another big plus, giving you peace of mind knowing that the truck has a clear history. One thing to note is that this C10 is a 2-wheel drive model, which means it may not be the best choice for off-roading or heavy-duty work. However, if you're looking for a classic truck to cruise around town or take to car shows, this C10 is definitely worth considering. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American pickup that's got style, power, and plenty of character, this C10 is definitely worth checking out. It's a truck that's sure to provide plenty of enjoyment and satisfaction for years to come, and it's a great investment for any classic car enthusiast. So if you're ready to experience the thrill of driving a true American icon, head on over to Craigslist and check out this stunning 1970 C10. With its powerful V8 engine, classic long bed design, and 4-speed manual transmission, it's a truck that's sure to impress. And at just $6,500, it's a deal that's hard to beat. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. 6. We've got a real treat for you, a 1979 Camaro Berlinetta that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This classic muscle car is a true representation of American power and style from the late 1970s. First off, let's talk about the price. At $8,500 or best reasonable offer, this Camaro is a fantastic deal for a car of this caliber. You're getting a piece of automotive history that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing every time you get behind the wheel. Under the hood, you'll find a bone-stock 350 cubic inch V8 engine that's ready to roar to life. This engine is paired with an automatic transmission, which makes it easy to drive and perfect for cruising around town or hitting the open road. The seller mentions that the car runs and drives great, which is always a good sign when you're dealing with a classic like this. Now let's talk about the condition of this Camaro. The seller describes it as being in good condition, with a very straight body for its age. The car has recently been repainted, which gives it a fresh, clean look. However, it's important to note that the interior does need some work. The seller mentions that most of the interior needs to be redone, as it's pretty sun-aged. The headliner is in good shape, but the rest of the interior will need some attention. One thing to keep in mind is that the air conditioning doesn't currently work and needs to be converted over. This is a common issue with classic cars, and it's something that can be fixed with some time and effort. The odometer is also rolled over, which means that the actual mileage is unknown. However, the seller does mention that the car has 100,300 miles on it, so it's safe to assume that it's been well loved over the years. Other features of this Camaro include a clean title, which is always a plus when you're buying a classic car. The seller also mentions that the car is a local Colorado vehicle, which means it hasn't been exposed to harsh winter weather or salt on the roads. The floors, trunk, and frame rails are all in good shape, which is a testament to how well this car has been cared for over the years. The seller also mentions that the car has recently had $2,000 worth of service done, which is a great sign. This means that the car has been well maintained and is ready to hit the road. The fresh emissions test is another big plus, as it means that the car is up to date with all the necessary regulations. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car that's got plenty of power, style, and character, this Camaro is definitely worth checking out. It's a car that's sure to provide plenty of enjoyment and satisfaction for years to come, and it's a great investment for any classic car enthusiast. So if you're ready to experience the thrill of driving a true American icon, head on over to Craigslist and check out this stunning Berlinetta. With its powerful V8 engine, beautiful white exterior, and recent service history, it's a car that's sure to impress. And at just $8,500 or best reasonable offer, it's a deal that's hard to beat. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. 7. We've got a real treat for you, a 1965 Chevrolet Corvair that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This beauty is a Monza convertible, and while it may not be a show car, it's definitely a sweet ride for your daily adventures. Under the hood, you'll find a non-numbers matching 140 GP engine with 4 carburetors, giving this Corvair some serious pep in its step. Paired with a 4-speed manual transmission, this rear-wheel drive machine is ready to hit the road and let you feel the wind in your hair. The interior is in great shape, and the power top is working like a charm. You won't have to worry about any leaks or tears in the clear back window either. The seller mentions that the odometer has rolled over, but with 122,000 miles on the clock, this Corvair still has plenty of life left in it. The bright yellow paint is sure to turn heads wherever you go, and the tires are just a couple of years old, so you won't need to worry about replacing them anytime soon. The seller does mention that this isn't a show car, so there may be a few imperfections here and there, but overall it's in good condition for a classic that's ready to be driven and enjoyed. Now here's the best part, the seller is open to trades. If you've got a 66, 69 Corvair Coupe, a vintage VW Beetle, or another interesting older car, you might be able to work out a deal. But if you're looking to buy outright, this Monza convertible can be yours for just $12,000. So if you're in the market for a fun, classic ride that's sure to put a smile on your face every time you get behind the wheel, this Corvair might just be the perfect fit. Don't miss out on this opportunity to own a piece of automotive history. 8. We're taking a closer look at a 1978 Cadillac El Dorado Beitz that's recently been listed for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is one classic ride that's sure to make your heart skip a beat. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this beauty. The seller describes it as like new, and based on the details provided, I'm inclined to believe them. With just 87,000 original miles on the odometer, this Eldorado has been meticulously cared for by its family since it first hit the streets back in 1978. That's right. This car has been in the same family for over 4 decades, which is a testament to its quality and the love that's been poured into it over the years. Now let's pop the hood and see what's powering this classic Cadillac. Under there, you'll find a beefy 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life at a moment's notice. Paired with a silky smooth automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive, this Eldorado is sure to provide a driving experience that's quintessentially American luxury. You'll feel like you're gliding down the road in the lap of luxury, just like the Cadillac owners of yesteryear. Of course, we can't talk about a classic car without mentioning its aesthetics, and this Beitz doesn't disappoint. The brown paint job is a perfect representation of the era in which this car was born, and it's sure to turn heads and spark conversations wherever you go. And speaking of going places, the seller mentions that this Eldorado runs well, so you can hit the road with confidence knowing that you're behind the wheel of a well-oiled machine. But here's the best part, folks, the price. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A classic Cadillac like this in such incredible condition must cost a small fortune, right? Well, I'm happy to report that this Eldorado can be yours for the surprisingly affordable price of just $5,500. That's right. For less than the price of some used economy cars, you can own a piece of American automotive history that's been lovingly maintained and is ready to provide you with years of driving enjoyment. The seller puts it perfectly when they say that this Eldorado is hard to find in this condition, and I couldn't agree more. Classic cars like this are becoming increasingly rare, especially in such excellent shape. If you're in the market for a vintage ride that's sure to impress, this Eldorado Beitz is definitely worth considering. So what are you waiting for? If you've been dreaming of owning a classic American luxury car that's got style, power, and an incredible history, this might just be your chance. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Head on over to Craigslist and check out this amazing Beitz before someone else snaps it up. Trust me, you won't regret it. 9. We've got a real piece of automotive history for you, a 1953 Mercury Monterey that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to turn heads and get people talking wherever you go. Now, I want to be upfront with you. This Monterey isn't in perfect condition. The seller describes it as fair, and there are a few things that need to be addressed. However, don't let that discourage you because this car has a ton of potential and has already had some significant work done to it. Let's start with the good stuff. The seller has put in a lot of effort to get this Monterey running smoothly. They've installed new brakes and brake lines, flushed the fuel lines, and even put in a new gas tank. The radiator and water pumps have been replaced, and the carburetor has been rebuilt. As a result, the seller says that the car runs nicely, which is a great sign for a classic like this. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to rumble. Paired with a manual transmission and rear-wheel drive, this Monterey is sure to provide a driving experience that's both exciting and engaging. Now let's talk about the areas that need some attention. The seller mentions that the car likely needs new rings, which is a relatively significant engine repair. There are also some electrical issues that need to be sorted out, as well as some bodywork that needs to be done. However, the seller has already taken care of some cosmetic upgrades, including new rims and tires, and they even have 4 correct hubcaps and door scuff plates to go with the car. The red paint job is a classic color for a car like this, and while it may not be in perfect condition, it still looks great and is sure to grab attention on the road. The odometer reading of 52,000 miles is also worth noting, although the seller does mention that the odometer is broken, so the actual mileage may be higher. Now, I know that the missing title might be a concern for some buyers, but don't let that scare you off. With a little bit of paperwork and some persistence, it's often possible to get a new title issued for a classic car like this. At the end of the day, this Monterey is a project car that's looking for the right owner. The seller is upfront about the fact that they don't have the time to work on it with 2 small kids at home. But for the right enthusiast, this could be an incredible opportunity to own a piece of automotive history and bring it back to its former glory. For just $10,000, this Monterey could be yours. While it may need some work, the potential is there for a truly stunning classic car. If you're up for a challenge and have a passion for vintage automobiles, this Mercury is definitely worth checking out. Who knows? With a little bit of elbow grease and some TLC, you could be cruising down the road in style in no time. 10. We're taking a closer look at a 1977 Lincoln Mark V that's recently been listed for sale on Craigslist. And let me tell you, this is one ride that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sheer presence of this car? The Lincoln Mark V is a true classic, with its distinct styling and luxurious features. This particular example has a few cosmetic issues, like a vinyl top that could use some attention, but overall it's in good condition and ready to hit the road. Under the hood, you'll find a beefy 400 cubic inch engine paired with an automatic transmission, which is sure to provide a smooth and powerful driving experience, but that's not all. This Mark V has been modified with some serious upgrades, including an Edelbrock carburetor and manifold dual exhaust, and an HEI distributor conversion. These modifications are sure to take this classic to the next level in terms of performance and sound. Inside, you'll find a comfortable and stylish interior that's ready to transport you back in time. The Alpine deck with Bluetooth connectivity is a nice modern touch, allowing you to enjoy your favorite tunes while cruising down the road. And let's not forget about the sunroof, perfect for letting in some fresh air and sunshine on those perfect driving days. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A classic car like this must cost a fortune, right? Well, I've got some good news for you. This Lincoln can be yours for just $8,975. That's right. For less than the price of some new economy cars, you can own a piece of American automotive history that's sure to turn heads and make a statement wherever you go. The seller mentions that the car runs and drives like a true classic, and based on the description, I have no doubt that's true. With just 67,000 miles on the odometer and a clean title, This Mark V is ready to provide its new owner with years of driving enjoyment. So, what are you waiting for? If you're in the market for a classic car that's got style, power, and a whole lot of personality, this Lincoln Mark V is definitely worth checking out. Imagine cruising down the street in this beauty, feeling the rumble of the engine and the wind in your hair. It's an experience that's hard to beat, and one that you won't soon forget. In conclusion, if you're looking for a classic car that's sure to impress, this Mark V is a must-see. With its good condition, impressive modifications, and affordable price tag, it's a rare find that won't last long. So head on over to Craigslist and check it out before someone else snaps it up. Trust me, you won't regret it. 11. We've got a real gem for you. A 1973 Dodge Coronet that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to get your heart racing and your nostalgia flowing. First things first, let's talk about the condition of this beauty. The seller describes it as good, and based on the details provided, I'm inclined to believe them. The car has been well cared for over the years, with no major rust issues and what appears to be the original paint job. That's a testament to the quality of this classic Dodge and the love that's been poured into it. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's ready to roar to life. Paired with an automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive, this Coronet is sure to provide a driving experience that's both smooth and exhilarating. The seller notes that there are no mechanical issues, and the transmission shifts well, so you can hit the road with confidence. Step inside and you'll find an interior that's in great shape. The seller mentions that it's nice, which is always a good sign for a classic car. You can imagine yourself cruising down the road in comfort and style, surrounded by the vintage charm of this 1973 Dodge Coronet. Now let's talk about the exterior. The yellow paint job is a classic color that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. It's a bold and bright hue that perfectly captures the spirit of the 1970s. The seller believes that the paint is original, which is a rare find for a car of this age. And with no evidence of any accidents, you can rest assured that this Coronet has been well taken care of. But here's the best part, folks. The price. For just $7,500, this Dodge Coronet can be yours. That's an incredible deal for a classic car in this condition. Whether you're a collector, a nostalgia seeker, or just someone who appreciates the beauty of vintage automobiles, this Coronet is sure to impress. The seller also notes that the car has a clean title, which is always a good sign. You can buy with confidence, knowing that there are no hidden issues or surprises waiting for you down the road. At the end of the day, this Coronet is a rare find. With its good condition, powerful engine, and stunning yellow paint job, it's a car that's sure to turn heads and get people talking. And with just 54,979 miles on the odometer, it's clear that this Coronet has plenty of life left in it. So, what are you waiting for? If you're in the market for a classic car that's got style, power, and a whole lot of personality, this Dodge is definitely worth checking out. Head on over to Craigslist and take a closer look. Who knows? You might just fall in love with this vintage beauty and make it your own. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. 12. We've got an absolute stunner for you. A 1964 Plymouth Fury that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to take your breath away and transport you back to the golden age of American automobiles. First off, can we just take a moment to appreciate the incredible condition of this Fury? The seller describes it as excellent, and based on the details provided, I couldn't agree more. This car was purchased as part of an estate sale and has been lovingly cared for by its current owners for just under 2 years. It's clear that this Fury has been cherished and maintained to the highest standards. Under the hood, you'll find a reliable 6-cylinder engine that's paired with a push-button automatic transmission, a feature that's both retro and undeniably cool. The seller notes that the car is driven regularly and has always performed flawlessly, which is a testament to the quality of this classic Plymouth. Step inside, and you'll be transported to a world of vintage luxury. The interior is described as immaculate, with large bench seats in both the front and rear that are perfect for cruising in comfort. The aftermarket AM/FM cassette player is a nice touch, allowing you to enjoy your favorite tunes while you're out on the road. But the real star of the show here is the exterior. The white paint job is stunning, and the seller notes that there's no rust to be found anywhere on the car. This is a rare find for a vehicle of this age. And it's a clear indication of just how well this Fury has been cared for over the years. The seller describes this car as a unicorn, and it's easy to see why. With its combination of mechanical soundness and aesthetic beauty, this Fury is a true rarity in the world of classic cars. It's the kind of vehicle that turns heads and gets people talking wherever it goes, from car shows to casual cruises. And here's the best part. This incredible piece of automotive history can be yours for just $6,900. That's an absolute steal for a car in this condition, and it's an opportunity that's not likely to come around again anytime soon. The seller notes that the car is currently located on the Sunshine Coast, but can be viewed in North Vancouver with a small deposit. That means that even if you're not local, you still have a chance to make this Fury your own. At the end of the day, this Fury is a car that speaks for itself. With its incredible condition, powerful engine, and stunning good looks, it's a vehicle that's sure to impress even the most discerning classic car enthusiast. And with just 65,000 miles on the odometer, it's clear that this Fury has plenty of life left in it. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's got style, substance, and a whole lot of personality, this Plymouth is definitely worth checking out. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Head on over to Craigslist and make this vintage beauty your own today. 13. We've got a real treat for you. A 1979 Chevrolet Camaro that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to get your heart racing and your adrenaline pumping. First things first, let's talk about what's under the hood. This Camaro is packing a serious punch with a Chevy 354-bolt main engine that has less than 100 miles on it. That's right, you heard me correctly, less than 100 miles. This engine is practically brand new and ready to roar to life at a moment's notice. Paired with an automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive, this Camaro is sure to provide a driving experience that's both exhilarating and unforgettable. But the excitement doesn't stop there. The seller has made some serious upgrades to this Camaro that are sure to impress. The seats have been completely replaced with brand new ones, ensuring that you'll be riding in comfort and style. And if you're a fan of that classic muscle car look, you'll love the brand new wheels and tires that have been installed. They perfectly complement the sleek black paint job and give this Camaro an aggressive and intimidating stance. But perhaps the most unique feature of this Camaro is the sunroof. That's right, this car has a sunroof that was installed by the original dealership that sold it brand new back in 1979. It's a rare and desirable feature that sets this Camaro apart from the rest and adds an extra level of cool factor to an already impressive machine. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A car with all these upgrades and features must cost a fortune, right? Well, I've got some good news for you. This Chevrolet Camaro can be yours for just $6,500. That's an absolute steal for a car in this condition with these kinds of upgrades. Whether you're a collector, a weekend warrior, or just someone who appreciates the raw power and style of a classic muscle car, this Camaro is sure to impress. The seller describes the overall condition of the car as good, which is a testament to the care and attention that's been put into maintaining and upgrading this Camaro over the years. With a clean title and just 100 miles on the new engine, you can buy with confidence knowing that you're getting a car that's ready to hit the road and turn heads wherever you go. So what are you waiting for? If you're in the market for a classic muscle car that's got style, power, and a whole lot of attitude, this Chevrolet is definitely worth checking out. Imagine yourself behind the wheel, feeling the rumble of that 350 engine and the wind in your hair as you cruise down the road. It's an experience that's hard to beat, and one that you won't soon forget. In conclusion, if you're looking for a classic car that's sure to impress, this Camaro is a must-see. With its powerful engine, brand new upgrades, and unique features like the dealership-installed sunroof, it's a rare find that won't last long. So head on over to Craigslist and make this Camaro yours before someone else beats you to it. Trust me, you won't regret it. 14. We've got a real gem for you. A 1962 Ford Thunderbird that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing with its classic style and powerful engine. First things first, let's talk about what's under the hood. This Thunderbird is equipped with its original 390 engine, which is a testament to the durability and reliability of these classic Ford power plants. With 8 cylinders and plenty of horsepower on tap, this T-Bird is ready to hit the road and provide an unforgettable driving experience. The seller notes that the car runs great, which is always a good sign for a classic like this. But the upgrades don't stop there. This Thunderbird has been fitted with front disc brakes, which provide improved stopping power and safety compared to the original drum brakes. There's also an electric fuel pump and an electronic distributor, which help to ensure that the engine is running smoothly and efficiently. Now, I do want to mention a couple of potential drawbacks. The odometer is currently broken, so the actual mileage of the car is unknown. Additionally, the title status is listed as salvage, which means that the car may have sustained significant damage at some point in its history. However, the seller describes the overall condition of the car as good, so it's possible that any past issues have been properly addressed and repaired. One thing that really sets this Thunderbird apart is its custom paint job. The seller doesn't provide many details about the specific color or design, but a custom paint job is always a great way to make a classic car stand out from the crowd. Whether you're a fan of bold and bright colors, or more subtle and understated hues, this T-Bird is sure to make a statement wherever it goes. Of course, the real question on everyone's mind is probably the price. At $9,500, this Ford is certainly not the cheapest classic car out there. However, when you consider the rarity and desirability of these vehicles, as well as the upgrades and custom features that have been added to this particular example, it starts to look like a pretty solid deal. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of this classic American icon, feeling the rumble of that 390 engine and the wind in your hair as you cruise down the road. It's an experience that's hard to beat, and one that you'll never forget. And with its combination of classic style and modern upgrades, this Thunderbird is sure to turn heads and start conversations wherever you go. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's got power, style, and plenty of personality, this Thunderbird is definitely worth checking out. Don't let the salvage title or broken odometer scare you off. This is a car that's been well maintained and upgraded over the years, and it's ready to provide its new owner with years of driving enjoyment. In conclusion, if you're looking for a classic car that's sure to impress, this 1962 Ford Thunderbird is a must-see. With its powerful engine, custom paint job, and modern upgrades, it's a rare find that won't last long. So head on over to Craigslist and make this T-Bird yours before someone else beats you to it. Trust me, you won't regret it. 15. We've got a real treat for you, a 1970 Chevrolet Impala that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to get your heart racing and your nostalgia flowing, especially if you're a fan of classic American muscle. First off, let's talk about the history of this particular Impala. According to the seller, it was produced right here in Arlington, Texas, which is pretty cool if you ask me. There's something special about owning a car that was built in your own backyard, so to speak. Under the hood, you'll find a 305 engine that's paired with an automatic transmission. The seller notes that the car runs and drives very well, which is always a good sign for a classic like this. With 8 cylinders and plenty of power on tap, this Impala is ready to hit the road and provide an unforgettable driving experience. Now, I do want to mention that the odometer has rolled over, so the actual mileage of the car is unknown. However, the seller describes the overall condition of the car as good, which suggests that it's been well maintained over the years. Of course, as with any classic car, there may be some minor imperfections or signs of age, but that's all part of the charm, right? One thing that really catches my eye about this Impala is the paint color. The seller describes it as blue, and based on the photos, it looks like a really nice deep shade that perfectly complements the car's classic lines and curves. There's just something about a big blue American sedan that screams cool to me. Of course, the real question on everyone's mind is probably the price. At $7,000, this Impala is certainly not the cheapest classic car out there. However, when you consider the rarity and desirability of these vehicles, as well as the fact that this particular example seems to be in good condition and running well, it starts to look like a pretty fair deal. The seller does note that they're not interested in trades or financing, which is pretty standard for a private party sale like this. They also mention that the car is located in Fort Worth, Texas. So if you're not local, you'll need to factor in the cost of transportation. But honestly, if you're a fan of classic American cars, I think this Impala is definitely worth considering. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of this big, beautiful machine, cruising down the highway with the windows down and the radio up. It's an experience that's hard to beat, and one that you'll never forget. Plus, with a clean title in hand, you can buy with confidence knowing that there are no hidden issues or surprises waiting for you down the road. And while the odometer rollover means that the actual mileage is unknown, the fact that the car is running and driving well is a good indication that it's been properly maintained over the years. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's got style, power, and plenty of American muscle, this Chevrolet is definitely worth checking out. Don't let the opportunity to own a piece of automotive history pass you by. Head on over to Craigslist and make this beauty yours before someone else beats you to it. 16, we've got a real gem for you. A 1970 Pontiac Le Mans that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to get your heart racing and your nostalgia flowing, especially if you're a fan of classic American muscle. First off, let's talk about the heart of this beast. Under the hood, you'll find a matching numbers 350/350 engine and transmission combo, which is a real rarity these days. The fact that this Le Mans has its original powertrain is a testament to its authenticity and value as a true collector's item. But this car isn't just a pretty face, it's also a real driver. The seller notes that it runs drives, which is always a good sign for a classic like this. And with just 54,121 miles on the odometer, it's clear that this Le Mans has been well maintained and cared for over the years. One of the really cool features of this particular Le Mans is the functional top. There's just something about cruising down the road in a classic convertible that feels so right, and this car delivers that experience in spades. Plus, all the lights work, so you can enjoy your top-down adventures even after the sun goes down. Now, the seller does mention that the paint has a few imperfections, but they also note that it's a nicey driver. In other words, this isn't a trailer queen that's been sitting in a garage for decades. It's a car that's meant to be driven and enjoyed. And honestly, a few minor flaws in the paint just add to the character and charm of a classic like this. If you're someone who likes to customize your ride, you'll be happy to know that the seller is offering to add AC to the car for an additional $2,500. That's a pretty sweet deal, especially if you plan on driving this Le Mans in the hot summer months. Of course, the real question on everyone's mind is probably the price. At $10,000 firm, this Pontiac Le Mans is certainly not the cheapest classic car out there. But when you consider the rarity and desirability of these vehicles, as well as the fact that this particular example has its original drivetrain and a clean title, it starts to look like a pretty fair deal. The seller is located in Margate, Florida, but they're willing to ship the car to your door for an additional fee. That's a nice option to have, especially if you're not local to the area. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car that's got style, power, and plenty of character, this Le Mans is definitely worth considering. With its matching numbers, drivetrain, functional top, and driver-friendly condition, it's a car that's sure to turn heads and put a smile on your face every time you get behind the wheel. Plus, with a clean title and low mileage, you can buy with confidence knowing that you're getting a solid example of a true automotive icon. So if you've got the cash and the desire to own a piece of American muscle car history, head on over to Craigslist and make this Pontiac yours before someone else beats you to it. Trust me, you won't regret it. 17. We've got a real treat for you. A 1968 Ford Torino that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to get your heart racing and your nostalgia flowing, especially if you're a fan of classic American muscle. First off, let's talk about the specs. Under the hood, you'll find a 289 CID 8-cylinder engine that's sure to provide plenty of power and performance. And with a column shift manual transmission, you'll get to experience the thrill of shifting gears like they did back in the good old days. One of the really cool features of this particular Torino is the aftermarket hang-on air conditioner. That means you can cruise in comfort even on the hottest summer days, without sacrificing any of the classic style and character of this vintage ride. But what really sets this Torino apart is its incredible condition. The seller notes that there's almost no rust anywhere on the body, which is a real rarity for a car that's over 50 years old. And overall, they describe the car as being in very good condition for its age. Of course, as with any classic car, there may be a few minor imperfections or signs of wear and tear, but that's all part of the charm, right? This Torino has been around the block a few times, and it's got the scars to prove it. But it's still a real head-turner, with its sleek lines and classic styling. The seller also mentions that the car has a current Virginia inspection, which is always a good sign. That means you can hit the road with confidence, knowing that this Torino has been checked out and deemed roadworthy by the experts. Now let's talk about the price. At $10,950, this Torino is certainly not the cheapest classic car out there. But when you consider the rarity and desirability of these vehicles, as well as the fact that this particular example is in such great condition, it starts to look like a pretty fair deal. The seller does note that they're willing to consider close, reasonable offers, so there may be a little wiggle room on the price. But they're also firm on the fact that this is a cash or wire transfer deal, and that the buyer is responsible for arranging any shipping. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic American muscle car that's got style, power, and plenty of character, this Ford Torino is definitely worth considering. With its 289 CID engine, manual transmission, and incredible condition, it's a car that's sure to turn heads and put a smile on your face every time you get behind the wheel. Plus, with a clean title and just over 102,000 miles on the odometer, you can buy with confidence knowing that you're getting a solid example of a true automotive icon. So if you've got the cash and the desire to own a piece of American muscle car history, head on over to Craigslist and make this Ford yours before someone else beats you to it. Trust me, you won't regret it. 18. We've got a real gem for you. A 1984 Cadillac Beitz that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing, especially if you're a fan of classic American luxury. First off, let's talk about the rarity of this particular model. According to the seller, only 3,300 of these Beitz coupes were ever made, which makes this car a true collector's item. If you're looking for a ride that's sure to stand out from the crowd, this is definitely it. But what really sets this Beitz apart is its incredible condition. The seller notes that the car has been garage kept for most of its life and has been lovingly maintained by the same family. The interior is described as a 9 out of 10, which is pretty impressive for a car that's almost 40 years old. And the exterior? A stunning 9.5 out of 10, thanks in part to a new vinyl top that's been installed. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 8-cylinder engine that's paired with an automatic transmission. And with just 93,000 miles on the odometer, which has rolled over once, this Beitz still has plenty of life left in it. The seller mentions that the motor and transmission are in great shape, which is always a good sign for a classic car. Of course, as with any vintage vehicle, there may be a few minor issues that need to be addressed. The seller notes that the car could use some TLC to get it back to perfection, but they've already taken care of some important upgrades and maintenance items. The AC has been converted to R134A, a new gas tank has been installed, and the car has recently undergone a tune-up, front-end alignment, and coolant pump replacement. Now let's talk about the price. At $7,800, this Beitz is certainly not the cheapest classic car out there. But when you consider the rarity and exceptional condition of this particular example, it starts to look like a pretty fair deal. Plus, the seller is firm on the fact that this is a cash sale only, with no trades accepted, so you know they're serious about finding the right buyer. One thing to keep in mind is that the car is no longer tagged or insured, so you'll need to take care of those details before hitting the road. But honestly, that's a small price to pay for the opportunity to own such a stunning and well-maintained piece of American automotive history. Overall, if you're in the market for a classic luxury car that's sure to impress, this Cadillac is definitely worth considering. With its rare pedigree, exceptional condition, and powerful drivetrain, it's a car that's sure to provide years of driving enjoyment and turn heads wherever you go. So, if you've got the cash and the desire to own a true collector's item, head on over to Craigslist and make this Beitz yours before someone else beats you to it. 19. We've got a real treat for you. A 1971 Ford Maverick that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to get your heart racing and your nostalgia flowing, especially if you're a fan of classic American muscle. First off, let's talk about the upgrades and improvements that have been made to this Maverick. The seller has clearly put a lot of time and effort into making sure this car is in top shape. They've installed a new starter, fuel pump, headlights, master brake cylinder, and even new floor pans. Plus, they've upgraded to a larger 19-gallon fuel tank, which means you can cruise for longer without having to stop for gas. Under the hood, you'll find a 6-cylinder engine that's been rebuilt less than 8,000 miles ago, along with a rebuilt transmission. That means you can expect plenty of power and reliability from this classic ride. And with new tires and a recent oil change, you can hit the road with confidence. One thing to note is that the odometer is currently broken, so the actual mileage of the car is unknown. However, the seller does mention that the engine and transmission were rebuilt less than 8,000 miles ago, so you can assume that the car has been well maintained and cared for. The green paint job is a classic color for a Maverick, and it's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with a clean title and a price tag of just $6,000, this car is a steal for any classic car enthusiast. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If this car is in such great shape, why is the seller in such a rush to get rid of it? Well, sometimes life happens and priorities change. The seller clearly states that they need gone ASAP, which suggests that they may be facing some personal circumstances that require a quick sale. But here's the thing, their loss is your gain. This Maverick is a rare find in today's market, and it's not likely to stick around for long at this price point. If you're in the market for a classic American muscle car that's been well maintained and upgraded, this is definitely a car worth considering. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of this beauty, cruising down the highway with the windows down and the radio up. The rumble of the engine, the feel of the steering wheel in your hands. It's an experience that's hard to beat, and with all the recent upgrades and improvements, you can enjoy that experience with peace of mind, knowing that your car is in top shape. So if you're ready to make this Ford yours, don't hesitate. Head on over to Craigslist and make an offer before someone else beats you to it. With its classic style, powerful engine, and recent upgrades, this car is sure to provide years of driving enjoyment and turn heads wherever you go. 20. We've got a real gem for you, a 1969 Buick Skylark that's currently up for sale on Craigslist. This is a car that's sure to turn heads and get your heart racing, especially if you're a fan of classic American muscle. First off, let's talk about the overall condition of this Skylark. The seller describes it as a super sharp coupe that they recently brought back from Florida. It's a nice running and driving car with a clean title, which is always a good sign. The black paint job is sure to turn heads wherever you go, and the 18-inch American racing wheels give it a modern and aggressive look. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful 354-barrel V8 engine that's paired with a 2-speed Powerglide automatic transmission. The seller mentions that the car has recently received new head gaskets, an alternator, battery, and wiper motor, which suggests that it's been well maintained and cared for. Now, as with any classic car, there are a few things that may need some attention. The seller notes that the AC is not currently working, though the car is equipped with it, and the heater and radio need some work. However, they do include a new heater core and headliner with the sale, which is a nice bonus. The seller also mentions that the car has no rust in the floors, trunk, or frame, which is a big plus for any classic car enthusiast. However, they do note that there are a few bubbles starting to form in the quarter panels, which is something to keep in mind. One thing to note is that the car did go through a hurricane and suffered some scratches from a carport, but the seller assures potential buyers that there was no flood damage. The odometer has also rolled over once, so the actual mileage of the car is unknown. Despite these minor issues, this Buick is still a solid and impressive car. The seller describes it as a nice, solid car to enjoy or take to the next level, which suggests that it's a great starting point for any classic car enthusiast looking to make a project out of it. And with a price tag of just $14,900, this Skylark is a great deal for anyone in the market for a classic American muscle car. Sure, it may need a little bit of work here and there, but that's all part of the fun of owning a vintage ride. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of this beauty, cruising down the highway with the windows down and the engine roaring. The sleek black paint job and aggressive stance are sure to turn heads wherever you go, and the powerful V8 engine will provide plenty of thrills along the way. So if you're ready to make this Skylark yours, don't hesitate. Head on over to Craigslist and make an offer before someone else beats you to it. With its classic style, powerful engine, and solid condition, this car is sure to provide years of driving enjoyment and become a treasured addition to any classic car collection.